The following video is not made for kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello to my subscribers, this is the TFangy coming to what will hopefully be a quick review of a Transformers action figure that I got on the day of my birthday, and I was really thrilled when I finally found it. And it is the Transformers Legacy Evolution Buzzworthy Bumblebee. Here in the United States, this is sold exclusively at Target stores. It is deluxe class Autobot tow line. So yes, here he is in all his splendor and glory. This is tow line from the Transformers Robots in Disguise 2000 or Car Robots universe. Tow Line was a somewhat special character when he was introduced because when he arrived on planet Earth, I believe if I remember the episode correctly, it's been a while since I've watched Car Robots. I only watched it one occasion, but when he arrived on Earth, Tow Line suffered, I believe, an injury where his logic circuit got damaged, and after he transformed into his newly acquired vehicle mode of a tow truck, he just started randomly towing any vehicle that he came across, even ones that weren't violating parking laws. So the Autobots had to quickly put a stop to him. So yeah, Tow Line was one of the more comedic characters from Car Robots. Another thing that makes Tow Line special is that he is only the second character from Car Robots that's been given an action figure in the Transformers Legacy line. The first one was the leader class Scourge or Black Convoy figure, which was repainted from Legacy G2 Laser Optimus Prime. Scourge was sold exclusively in the Velocitron Speed 500 line at Walmart. And so, on that note, so far, every character from Robots in Disguise 2000 or Car Robots, every character who's been given an action figure from that series in the Legacy line has been released at least as a store exclusive in the United States instead of mass retail. So, but there is some hope that future characters from this Transformers series and the being given Transformers Legacy action figures might be released at mass retail, because apparently it was announced that Cyburn is getting released, who will be most likely be a retool of Legacy Shadow Striker. And Cyburn is one of the characters that's supposedly being released at mass retail, so hopefully the trend of Car Robots Transformers characters being exclusives in the United States won't last long. So yes, here is Legacy Tow Line here. Here you got him inside the box. You got some artwork there of his vehicle mode of a tow truck. And for those of you who have been collecting the Legacy line and the Legacy Evolution line, Tow Line is a repaint with a new head sculpt of Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Junkion Scraphook. The only difference between the two of them is that a Tow Line has a brand new head sculpt, which I believe it does. The head sculpt is designed to match up with his animation model from the Car Robots series. So it's not entirely accurate to how the original Car Robots Tow Line action figure transformed. One noticeable difference between this one and the original figure is that the cab section of the tow truck mode actually becomes Tow Line's chest, and the way this new figure transforms, it ends up being on his feet, and also on his backpack. So, Tow Line is one of those Transformers action figures where I've never been able to find the best grammar to describe this, but basically, he's not entirely accurate. The main reason the figure was created was because Hasbro went to Cartooning wanted to use a mold another time, so it's very only a fraction. So, the way to describe this is that this action figure, it's not entirely accurate to the source material. It's more of an afterthought figure. But a lot of Transformers action characters that are given afterthought figures in the overall Transformers Generations line within the past few years. A few years down the line, they eventually get a more accurate action figure that's closer to the original figure and closer to the source material. So who knows, maybe in a few years we'll get another new action figure of Tow Line that has a transformation similar to his original Car Robots action figure that was released back in 2000, but has more improved articulation. Time will tell at this point. So on the flat side of the box, in place of the because this is the Buzzworthy line, instead of the image of the mural, the poster image for the Legacy Evolution line, you instead got artwork of Tow Line in his robot mode. those, yeah, really nice artwork of him there. Over here on this side of the box, you've got some random Transformers characters, which is the current poster image for the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. You've got Megatron from the, I believe, Transformers Earth Wars video game. You've got Optimus Prime. His face is on the front of the box behind Bumblebee, and then it just wraps around to the side of the box with his shoulder that has the Autobot logo. I believe this version of Bumblebee is from Transformers Cyberverse, and then Optimus Prime is from, I believe, the Transformers Devastation video game, if I remember correctly. And then, of course, you've got RC, who is also from, I believe, the Transformers Earth Wars video game. And so, the poster image for the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line being Bumblebee's head sculpt along with Megatron, Optimus Prime, and RC. It's basically to show Transformers fans and collectors that just about any character from any Transformers series could end up being given an action figure that's released in the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. And considering how diverse the Buzzworthy Bumblebee action figures have been, and I believe that's one of the main reasons why the poster image is like that. So for now, at least during the middle of 2023, the Transformers action figures being released right now have this on the side of the boxes, that they're plastic-free packaging. There's no plastic found on any type of the packaging at all. It's all paper and cardboard. But Hasbro announced that due to the all the reports of thefts of entire action figures such as core class sized figures stolen from their boxes, and then deluxe and Voyager class Transformers action figures with the open windows having heads decapitated, heads stolen, and parts stolen, with all the negative feedback that open window packaging and plastic free packaging has come in. And the most recent Legacy Evolution figures that have been released, which I purchased from eBay for my birthday over a month ago, this disclaimer right here of plastic-free packaging has disappeared again. So this was something that was only found throughout the, I want to say, the middle section of the current year of 2023. So plastic packaging will be returning, and I believe Hasbro did make a public announcement that they will once again use plastic windows on the boxes of Transformers action figures. So it's a shame that the Legacy Year 1 and the Legacy Evolution Transformers action figures have open window packaging, but supposedly starting next year for Legacy Year 3, the plastic window packaging will return. And so hopefully everything will work out with the packaging of Transformers action figures. So coming on here to the back of the box, you've got Tow Line in his robot mode and in his vehicle mode of a tow truck. He transforms back and forth between both modes in 17 steps. And there's the Evil Fusion gimmick where he becomes armor for any Transformers figure, but it's pictured with Hotshot. And I believe that image for the Evil Fusion gimmick here on Tow Line's box, I believe that image is recycled from Scraphook's box. They just digitize the color scheme to match Tow Lines instead of Scraphook's. But yes, as I said a moment ago, the only difference between Scraphook and Tow Line are the different head sculpts. One thing that did change on the final product, I've seen on a couple of reviews of Tow Line already, is that the shield that he has there on his arm, right there, the spiked shield, which becomes the spare tire that hangs off the back of his vehicle mode. On the prototype figure, it was originally going to be the same dark blue used on the crane hook and on Tow Line's robot mode pelvis, but on the final product, it's the same bright neon green that's used on as his main paint job. So it is a bit disappointing that there were some color swaps between the prototype type action figure used for the product photos versus the final product. But yeah, overall, I'm just really excited that I was able to find Tow Line. As of this video's recording, it's now September of 2023, and Tow Line is starting to shelf warm at Target stores, but I just wanted to share with you guys my own personal experience with Tow Line. The day I found Tow Line on my birthday, which was the last week of July, I went to 2 Target stores looking for Tow Line, and between the 2 Target stores I went through, this right here was the only copy of Tow-Line that I was able to find. So when he was released for the first time back in July, Tow-Line was a hard Transformers action figure to come across because everyone was buying him up. So it's amazing how over the course of 2 months he went from being a hard to find action figure to being a figure that's starting to show form. So one of the reasons why I'm excited for Tow-Line, and I don't know if I've said this already on my channel in previous reviews that I've covered over the last 1.5 months, but this is common for a lot of the deluxe class sized action figures that have been released in the Legacy Evolution line, and Tow-Line is no exception. A lot of the deluxe figures that have been released in the Legacy Evolution line, they are action figures of Transformers characters that I had no prior or previous action figure of in my Transformers collection, and Tow-Line is one of those characters. So this is the first and currently only action figure of Tow-Line in my Transformers collection, so this is the first time I am ever having an action figure of him, so he's somewhat special to me in that he's a brand new character that I've added to my collection for the first time. So without further delay, I've already rambled on far too long with the review already being 11 minutes in, so let's hurry up and get Tow-Line out of his box and take a close look at him in his robot mode. Alright, and so here is Tow-Line out of his box and transferred into his robot mode. Again, he's not completely accurate to his original Car Robots action figure that was released, 23 years ago. But it's still a pretty fantastic figure for what it is, especially for being a repaint of Legacy Scraphook with a new head sculpt. I think Tow-Line is a pretty incredible looking Transformers action figure in his own right. Now, according to the instruction sheet and the photos on the back of his box, you're supposed to have Tow-Line with his weapons in the same configuration that as Scraphook here, where the exhaust pipes are on the tops of his shoulders, and he's holding the missile launchers in his hands. Then he's got the shield on one hand and the crane arm on the other. I decided to mix and match Tow-Line weapons a bit, just to further distinguish him from Scraphook. So I put the exhaust pipes on his back, and then I put the laser guns on the tops of his shoulders, so it looks like he has shoulder missiles. And yeah, it's a pretty nice way to further distinguish Tow-Line from Scraphook. But yeah, apart from the head sculpt, the only difference between the two of these figures is the paint job. One thing I wish they would have done is kept the spare tire the same shade of blue that's used on the crane arm and the hands and Tow-Line's waist. I think it just would have been better than having it the same neon green that most of his body is. But yeah, for what the figure's trying to be, I think it does a fairly decent job of being a modern-day action figure of Tow-Line, and there's a close-up of his brand new head sculpt. That is definitely accurate to Tow-Line's head sculpt up there. So for articulation, I covered it in Scrapbook and also Axel Grease's reviews. So it's a pretty basic articulation. The head can swivel left and right 360 degrees. The arms can rotate forward and backward at the shoulder 360 degrees. They can go out this far at the shoulder joint. There is a swivel joint in the bicep, and a hinge joint in the elbows, and then you have wrist rotation. Waist swivel 360 degrees left and right. Legs can go out this far. They can go forward that far, back this far. No swivel joints in the thighs, but you do get double jointed knees where you can swivel the lower legs left and right and then bend at the knee, and then of course you got an ankle tilt with the feet. But the double articulation in the knees is because that's where one of the parts that can pop off for weaponizer mode. I'm not going to show off the weaponizer mode on Tow-Line, but I said this in my review of, I can't remember if I said this in my review of Axel Grease the other night, but my biggest gripe with this mold in general is the elbow joint. It's clipped on right here, and the clip is not that strong. But the swivel joint in the robot mode bicep right there is very stiff and strong, and unfortunately you have to rotate the lower arm at the bicep joint to get the arms transformed correctly, and the arms just pop off, and it's actually been easier for me to pop off the arms when I've transformed Scraphook and Axle Grease. And looking at toe line, I was hoping would have been the one part they would have changed differently, is that at a joint there in the elbow, it's the blue joint right there. But unfortunately, Hasbro did not. So that's just my one main gripe with this mold in general, is the robot mode elbows snap off too easily, especially during transformation. But apart from that, I'm just really thrilled to finally have an action figure of Toe Line in my Transformers collection. Toe Line was one of the funniest characters for me personally from Car Robots, so it's great to finally have an action figure of him. So let's get him transformed into his alternate mode of a tow truck and wrap up the review. Alright, so here is Toe Line transformed into his vehicle mode of a bright neon green, silver, and blue tow truck. And again, for what the figure is, being a repaint with a different robot mode head of Legacy Scraphook, I think it does a fairly decent job of being a modern day action figure of Toe Line. And so here he is next to Scraphook. Okay, one thing I did to further distinguish Toe Line again is I put the exhaust pipes on a different set of 5mm ports. And I already said this on commented about this on some other Transformers reviewers, but putting Toe Line up next to Scraphook. Look, one thing I've always, after Toe Line was announced, one thing that came to mind was I joked to myself that if you wanted to, you could do a then and now image with Toe Line and Scraphook's vehicle mode. So this is what the tow truck looked like back when it was first built, and this is what it looks like today after decades of service and towing cars to the impound lot. But yes, I really enjoy that possibility that you could joke that Toe Line and Scraphook's vehicle modes are the exact same pickup truck. Toe Line's is when the tow truck was first built, and Scraphook's is what it is today after years of rust and service and covered in dirt and grime. But yeah, I really enjoy that like past and present instant photo op you can do with these two figures. Yeah, they are really nice compared to each other, and just to have every version of the Legacy Scraphook mold that's been released so far. Here also is Axle Grease, who I reviewed the other day. So yeah, they are a pretty fantastic looking trio of Transformers action figures. Now officially, because he wasn't a Junkion in the Car Robot series, Toe Line hasn't actually been marketed as a Junkion, so it's your decision if you want to treat him as a Junkion or not. But yes, he is nice looking there. I forgot to check in his robot mode, but see if I can check the. Oh yeah, yeah. So Toe Line only has one Autobot logo on his robot mode chest. As to, there's none visible in his vehicle mode, but I think that's also true for Scraphook and Axle Grease. The faction symbols of them aren't visible in alt mode. But yeah, again, I'm just really amazed at how Toe Line came out. I really hope we get more characters from Car Robots released in the Legacy line. I hope they aren't released as exclusives the way Toe Line was. One last thing was he does roll fairly well, but the tires of the wheels spin separately from the hubcaps due to how they attach in vehicle mode. So they roll okay, I guess, but you have to apply a certain amount of friction to get the tires to actually roll really well. And even when you do, I don't know if you could hear that, but yeah, there's a loose piece of plastic that probably wasn't shaved off at the factory that's hitting the hubcap itself. So just like Scraphook and Axle Grease, Toe Line, his vehicle mode does a okay job of rolling around. But I'm trying to find words to express how excited I am, but I'm speechless with excitement at finally having an action figure of Toe Line in my Transformers collection. Tow Line does share his name with a handful of other Transformers characters that have been released over the years, but even though I've seen Tow Line's name on a handful of those Transformers action figures, I was never actually able to get any of them, so I'm just really excited to finally have an action figure of him in my Transformers collection. So to end the video, do I recommend getting Transformers Legacy Evolution Buzzworthy Bumblebee Deluxe Class Tow Line and adding him to your Transformers collection? Absolutely, I do. Even if you already have Scraphook and Axle Grease, you cannot go wrong having a third version of this mold. Oh, then even though it's not entirely accurate to the source material and it doesn't entirely look like the original Car Robots version of Tow Line, this is still a pretty fantastic action figure in its own right, even though it has the same flaws as Scraphook and also Axle Grease. Yes, I do recommend you get Tow Line and adding him to your Transformers collection, and of course, one thing you can do is you can swap out the vehicle mode parts, and you can mix and match them all together. So again, there's a Tow Line with a rusty front section. Here is Scraphook with a pristine front section. And you can also mix and match the same parts with Axle Grease as well. Also, there is a whole lot of play factor here for Tow Line, and I'm going to say this right now, but from the photo of the combiner that can be made with all of the Legacy Evolution Junkions from the Voyager class Trashmaster being released in Wave 4 of Legacy, along with Scraphook, Axle Grease, and also Crash Bar, who I'm hoping to review soon. If you want to have Junkosaurus be an all Autobot Junkion combiner, then you can switch out Axle Grease here with Tow Line if you desire. So thank you guys all so much for watching. This has been the Tiafangi. This has been my review of Transformers Legacy Evolution Tow Line. I highly recommend you get this figure and add him to your Transformers collection, even if you have Scraphook and Axle Grease. Thank you guys all so much, and until next time, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, transform and roll out. Goodbye, everyone. Ta-da, ta-da.